So,
Uh,
but let's go to that article that you pulled up on the from Political. So yeah, cool. So culture wars fuel Trump's blue collar
yeah,
Latino gains.
that's what we've been talking about this
Right.
whole time.
Yeah. So I mean,
Um,
but yes, despite 4 years of of being defined as a racist, he improved his margins in 78 of the nation's 100 majority Hispanic counties. He did better with Latinos in exit polls of each of the top 10 battleground states. Yeah, so I
because this is the same thing with defining them, right?
yeah,
Especially in people who don't, English isn't their first language or
uh
isn't their
huh,
main language, right? You are going to basically let the Republican messaging is going to
mm-hmm.
define you in these voters' heads, right?
Right,
You are not like your messaging because it's so like transparently bullshit, right? It's so like wishy-washy. It's basically Trump is bad. Like, look how terrible he's running the coronavirus. He did a
mm-hmm.
terrible job at it. And you know what? He's also racist, right? Like, that was their strategy.
Right.
It's
But
like,
then when you had the whole thing about being with Joe Biden being tied to setting up the damn cages, and then when you saw a bunch of these videos circulating around when you had immigration activists trying to talk to Joe Biden about, hey,
mm-hmm,
well, what about this stuff that you did? You have to kind of, are
yeah,
you gonna do something about that or do something to be better about this situation? Then he tells you go vote for Trump. Then I mean,
yeah.
when you
No,
when you
voters
tell
saw that.
yeah, when
They saw
voters
the
see
viral
that kind of
videos.
shit and they see viral videos of you
Yeah,
talking to people that look like
I think
me
it's like
and
Crispin
immigration is
says, right?
important to them, then that shit does stick with you. But
Yeah,
I mean, look what
I
he,
think it's like Crispin said. Like,
yeah,
for a large segment of working class voters, economic issues are just not on the table, right? Neither party is running on them as far as they're concerned,
no,
right? Neither party has that. So you're basically just voting on the cultural issues because nobody has made economic issues uh, negotiable, right? So if it's between this one party who's gonna like shame you and tell you you should always feel bad about yourself or you should always feel bad about like different aspects of your community,
mm-hmm.
like, and the other party who's saying like fuck those guys trying to shame you all the time, just be
Right.
yourself, or whatever they're saying, like just work hard and do whatever you want to do, like that's what real Americans
Mm,
do or
well,
whatever.
well, look what it says here.
That's
So,
going to connect
so
with
Joe
people.
Biden won Latino voters overall, but as post-election data trickles in, Democrats are growing concerned because of Trump's notable gains weren't limited to Miami's Cuban Americans or border region Tejanos. That's me. Although Florida and Texas stood out for their notable shift, Puerto Ricans as far and away as Philadelphia, Mexican Americans in Milwaukee drifted Trumpward. So Trump improved his showing among Latinos by scaling back some of his immigration rhetoric and engaging in sustained bilingual social media and TV ad campaigns that courted Latinos based on place of origin, gender, and religion. See, because there are avenues to be able to go ahead and talk to Latinos in those fronts. You know what I mean? And
Yeah, which is what
when you're
Chuck Roach has said the whole time.
right,
Just go meet them where they are and talk to them.
yes. So and you see when I talked about when in 2016 when I would talk to people um about Trump and stuff and why would Trump versus Hillary and that kind of shit. The thing that got brought up a lot to me was NAFTA and Hillary pushing NAFTA
Yeah,
and now she wants TPP.
yeah,
That stuff
yeah,
that stuff actually legitimately matters if
yeah,
you go and make a case for it.
yeah. Mm,
See,
Um,
but yeah, I don't know about this shit. Like, oh yeah, I remember the boycott of Goya foods.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
well, yeah,
That kind of stuff
no,
matters
no,
because the
but
Republicans made it matter. That's
right,
the thing. It's like
yeah,
you could have had a response to that if you had made that an effort to. You could have had a way to center like the actual issues with Goya as far as there are any, because I don't think there really are any,
right.
right? But like you saying,
I forgot
and
the issue
because an
with Goya, but
intensely partisan,
there's so many different
just
reasons why
because they
people
were
try to
Trump
cancel them.
supporters,
Yeah, that was
but
what it
like
is.
there was not an official boycott or anything.
Uh huh.
I read that AOC tweet to you. Just
Right.
because an intensely partisan person, AOC, right?
Right.
She's the politics is her life. So of course it's going to rub her the wrong way that this brand is supporting the other guy.
Right.
But like that's not saying that she's encouraging other people to not support Goya or saying Goya is a
Yeah.
bad company. And it gets muddled because the Republicans are going to run with the, the
Yeah, and
most
it doesn't.
aggressive version of
And
it that they can,
well, yeah, and it doesn't help that when you go to the grocery store, Goya is one of the most affordable foods to be able to cook
Yeah,
with. So I mean, like,
yeah.
yeah. But look at this one though. This is I didn't even know it was this high. But 97% of Latinos don't say Latinx.
Yeah.
Zaragoza said, referring to a Pew Research poll on the subject, "We're building strategy around young progressive activists and organizations, and they're necessary. We appreciate what they do. But a lot of voters are focused on, I'm a hardworking American trying to feed my family or build a business. And a lot of this language doesn't speak to them." Yeah, I mean, look, I don't like it. I think it's fucking stupid. It's annoying to me actually when I hear people using it because it doesn't make any sense. Okay, so I mean, the idea I guess is to go ahead and make the whole Spanish language or the way you refer to somebody like me non-binary or what. I'm not quite getting. Is that the idea that you hear from people that why they use it? Is it somehow supposed to be a more woke version of how to refer to somebody who's
Latinx?
yeah.
No, it's not gendered, right?
Yeah, I mean
So
it's not gendered, but then okay, so then you got a larger problem because then you got to go ahead
you
and
have to explain that to people, but
well
like
no, you have to
just
you have to retrofit the entire Spanish language. You know,
um
like it's a whole crux of how it was built. You know what I mean? Like you can go down the line of a bunch of different words. That's why you have the
that's the
whole
thing.
Spanish el versus la and all that
And
shit.
that's
I
what
mean,
they would that's the kind of social media, like there was that Vox article, let
you
me
know,
see if we can find that,
like you
that
know how
talked
you
about the
say.
specific
I'm trying to
social
think of like
media
an. I'm trying to think like of
campaign.
an easy word in Spanish just to um. So like a car in Spanish is a carro, right? So
Hmm.
what are you gonna do? Call it a carrex?
Yeah,
It's stupid. So is everything gonna
yeah,
be like that? That's what we're gonna do?
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna go in non-binary the whole fucking Spanish language and put an X on there because, and then why even an X? It's not even how you pronounce an X in Spanish.
exactly. um
Yeah,
Let me see.
yeah,
I'm
and
trying to find that one
uh
from
huh,
Vox where Vox went into more detail about
right,
the type of social media campaign they
uh
ran,
huh. Well,
about.
let me go to this part on the article again because they talk about my region. Drama in the Valley in Texas, a majority Hispanic Rio Grande Valley along the Texas border, where Trump did well for a Republican. Progressive organizer Ofelia Alonso pointed out that Latino is a broad and imprecise catch-all term for members of an ethnic group in which people identify as black, white, indigenous, Asian, Middle Eastern, and mixed race. A lot of people who voted for Trump, while they're Latino, they're also white. She said, pointing to the city of Hardeline as a Trump-supporting white city with money, or South Padre Island, where the class and race demographic is different than other parts of the Rio Grande Valley. More people have money. They're really organized around the fact that they might not get taxed as much, and they feel they need to protect their wealth. So Biden
Here it
did
is.
better with Hispanic voters in the more populous Latino heavy areas around Houston, Dallas, and San Antonio. But overall, Trump lost the nation's majority Hispanic counties by a combined 12-point margin to Biden. In 2016, Trump lost them by 20 points.
Um, Here's that article.
Okay. Yeah. Do you send it to
Yeah.
me?
I'm trying to put it in the message. Where's the? Um,
Yeah. I mean, there's a little bit of that kind of shit too with what they're mentioning, but again, it's harder to gauge that shit when you're talking about you had a basis to go off of in the primary, and you eliminate that entire aspect of your analysis for how things shaped out at the end of the election. Like if Bernie would have been the candidate against Trump, do you think those point margins would hold?
no, I think he would have. I think he would have cleaned up. I think he would have gotten, a lot higher chunk of the Latino population. I think he would have gotten more of them who didn't vote. This is just the ones who came out to vote too, so it's probably still mostly older, right?
Right.
Like Latino boomers who, like even if they are
And you know, like the socialism thing, I don't think bothers people that bothers
It
Mexican
bothers
American.
them
Like it doesn't
because the
bother
way
Mexican Americans as
the way they
much.
ran though, like
Right? No, no. But I'm saying like I think that has more of effect on like Cuban descendant Americans
yeah,
than Mexican.
Gaisanos,
Yeah. Then you're talking about like
like
Tejanos and people more on the west side of the country and even other parts of the country. You're talking about like Puerto Rican origin or yeah, like I said, Mexican
yeah,
origin. I don't think that shit hits home in the same sort of way.
no, but what does hit is them having all of these Facebook ads or whatever that's
Mm-hmm.
like, like El Biden
El,
going
Bi-
to,
El Biden.
like he's going to like turn America into Venezuela
Oh yeah,
and like he's going to send you to the gulag if you don't say Latinx. Like that's the kind of ads that they were running, right? And they had no response to it.
oh
They
yeah,
had no
that might get people. You're talking about you have to say Latinx and people don't even.
exactly. That's what I'm saying.
But, I
That
mean,
was the impression. That's what
I'm really gonna go up on this thing again. But I mean, okay, so we were gonna if the whole thing with Latinx is to make it non-binary, we're gonna non-binary the prefixes to like you can't say el anymore or la. Those are too that's too feminine or masculine. We have to come up with a whole
I
new
know.
term.
Like
It's gotta be
not
like
for nothing, like the academics who came up with that, it's kind of dumb that they made that,
yeah
like, didn't
yeah
make
the
that jump
I mean
when they were
the,
coming up with
Yeah,
Latinx,
I mean,
right?
like with
Like,
the academics that came up with Latinx are probably the same people that think Taco Bell's real Mexican food.
um, I mean, I have
I
seen that
gotta stop
it's
this, man.
like, it's actually, I mean, I have seen stuff that where it's more popular in like the like upper middle class neighborhoods in
Uh,
like Mexico City, like other places,
is it
with the
really
yeah, with the like woke Mexicans, whatever
woke
that is, like
woke
the woke
Mexicans?
liberals of
Woke
Mexico,
liberals of Mexico?
like the Vox.com readers of Mexico.
Oh,
Like
dude.
they like the term.
Oh man, I don't. I still don't get that. I will never understand that shit. The same people
But
that
like
call what people think of tacos here tostadas dobladas. That's
like they um what was I saying?
uh
Yeah, the fact that they weren't running any ads targeted to Spanish speaking people, right?
I mean that doesn't help either. I mean, we just look at those little pitfalls.
It just
You flip up
allows
on
them
all
to
those.
be easily painted as out of touch elitists
Yes,
who don't care about you except as pawns in their culture war. And
right.
that's the impression. It's the same kind of messaging they had,
Mm,
like that leave the plantation messaging, right? Like
right.
you're just puppets to them so they can
Mm-hmm.
try to woke shame the Republicans, and to a large extent that's true.
Uh.
Like that is how a lot of these strategists see these various like ethnic groups, right?
Yeah.
So then if all you see is stuff that's demonizing them, like you not might like you are going to associate that with them, and it's just like you don't have to, like I said before, it's like you don't have to run a left-wing campaign. You can
Mm-hmm.
run a normie Democratic campaign with
Right.
just better tactics, like better messaging, like
Right.
better
Well, I mean, that's what
ways to
AOC had
appeal.
mentioned too. Is they don't have any kind of
Exactly.
social media game. They're all stuck in the fucking '90s. Like,
Exactly. So, I mean, that allows the Republicans to just define you however they want.